All right, so it looks like we're recording.
Okay.
So hey everyone, my name's Stacy. I'm with the Mental Health Society, Community Engagement Coordinator. Today we're joined with mental health counselor Sean Scott. Hi Sean.
Hi, thanks for having me, Stacy.
Thanks for joining us today, much appreciated.
Yeah,
So to start off, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
sure. Yeah, again, my name is Sean, last name's Scott. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm actually pretty new to counseling. I graduated with a master's in mindfulness-based mental health counseling in a school called Naropa University in Boulder, Colorado. It was a master's program that had a lot of emphasis on mindfulness and bringing that into therapy and how we can use mindfulness for our own well-being. I'm from Victoria. I went to University of Victoria for a psych degree, and then I started with criminal justice at Camosun College. That was kind of my academic path. Yeah, I didn't initially think I wanted to get into mental health counseling. I was actually in construction for a while, but kind of had this calling to try something else after a little while, and so I kind of just signed up for some classes and got really interested in psychology, and then I took some meditation classes, and that kind of led me to get into this field slowly but surely, just kind of following that path where yeah.
That sounds like a really interesting degree.
Yeah, it's a unique program. It's really cool and allows for a lot of self-reflection too, which is important for a therapist to do their own to do a little bit of their own work. I think is important. So if you're looking for a therapist, maybe something to ask about.
So can you tell us a little bit about the services that you do and what you actually do?
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I work in two places. I'm a mental health counselor at the VGH hospital with the pediatrics unit. So that is like a short-term stabilization unit for youth under the age of 16 who come in with issues like psychosis or suicidality, kind of acute symptoms that need kind of a team and like containment. And then my job as counselor there is kind of help them settle and get them ready to get back out into the community and make sure that they're safe. And then on my private practice end of things, I have an office at Langford for some in-person sessions that I do, and I also do online. And I work with people around largely anxiety, depression, relationship challenges. Those are some of the most common things I see, and a lot of it stemming from some childhood wounds and childhood trauma seems to be definitely a common denominator in a lot of these cases. So that's kind of my world of work right now.
And what changes have you seen due to the pandemic?
I started my private practice during the pandemic, but I have been working throughout the pandemic, and there's a lot more isolation, I think, is hard on people, and just COVID fatigue. So I think that's increasing some anxiety and depression, and just quality of life and mental health in general. So I think those are big ones, and just people's loss of their activities, like groups and all their outlets. So I think that's definitely been hard on people, and something that comes up pretty common.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that for sure.
Yeah, and therapy over online is still pretty good and pretty definitely effective, but it's a bit different than in person, so it kind of affects care a little bit, but it's still definitely doable.
Yeah, for sure.
And more times it's more accessible to people who might not come in, but are more willing to do therapy because you just do it online now.
Yeah, that's a great point of people not wanting to leave their house or not wanting to go outside right now.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for somebody that's maybe looking to reach out to somebody to talk to them and hasn't done it before?
Yeah, that's a good question. There are resources out there for you if you're concerned about someone, like the IMCERT team, the Integrated Mobile Crisis Response Team. Like if you're really worried about someone and you get a hold of them through the crisis line, they can do like welfare checks on people. Potentially, they have a systematic way of assessing whether or not they will go see people in the community. But as an example of ways that of resources that are out there. But I think it's a hard conversation to have. But I think if you bring it up with this kind of framework that you care about them and are worried, that it's likely going to have a positive impact. And but yeah, it's a tough conversation to have.
Yeah, it definitely is. I've been there too, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get mad and they just lash out. And how do we deal with that?
Yeah, it can be hard. You don't know what others' reaction is going to be, but I think so. Yeah, it can be hard to have the courage to say that sometimes. But that you've tried, and you've sometimes even if you get that reaction, you've planted a seed for someone, and thinking they might be a little bit more aware that they're acting differently or might need some help, even if they're not ready to hear it just yet.
Definitely. And then what kind of coping mechanisms or strategies can you suggest for people to do?
That's definitely the trending word is like self-care these days with COVID, but it is really important to do things that bring you joy in life. And it can be hard because it's we don't have the structure of going out to a group workout class or having things outside of the house. Like we have to generate a lot of the things that we want to do, especially if we're stuck at home, like workouts or meditation or stuff. Like it's harder without that kind of encouragement of the environment that we normally have. But I think and for self-care, exercise, sleep, social interaction, nutrition are just kind of core things that'll kind of help anyone's system settle. And staying in contact with people and having those Zoom conversations. It's kind of like those interactions are kind of like for our system, almost like a nutritious meal. Like we kind of need a certain amount, I feel. Mm-hmm. And so those type of things can be really good for coping, and mindfulness skills too. Just becoming more aware of what we're experiencing and having tools to kind of regulate and soothe when those challenging times come, and enjoying the little moments in life too that we notice.
Mm-hmm. And there are some great apps out there too that people can download onto their phone or tablet, for meditation or just
totally.
Help.
Totally, yeah. I'm a big fan of the Be Here Now network, and they have some speakers like Tara Brock and Jack Kornfield and Joseph Goldstein. Very accessible podcasts, and they have great lectures and meditations, and have definitely supported me in keeping steady and centered through a lot of this.
Yeah, and I've also found that there's quite a few good TED Talks out there as well.
Yeah.
Like coping mechanisms, whether it be stress or anxiety.
Totally. Yeah, TED Talks are great.
Mm-hmm. What else do we want to talk about? What about go back to somebody who's new to it? How would you find what is going to suit them best? Does that make sense?
Yeah, if they're looking for a counselor?
Yeah, just what type of service would suit them best if they have no idea, they've never done it before?
Sure, that's a good question. I think it's important to find someone you feel like you're a good fit for, and that can take a few tries. So, see if some counselors will do like a brief consultation, but sometimes not. But I think to get a sample of like what's out there and who's out there, and see if you jive together, see if it feels safe, because not everyone's style is going to match with you, and you want it to be a good fit for you as a client is most important. So I would definitely encourage trying out a few. And there's some good databases like Psychology Today or the BC Counseling, BC Counseling Association. I think that's it. It's BC Counseling something. Those are two big ones. So yeah, try out a few and see if if there's something that you really particular that you're looking into. There might be people who specialize in that, and that might be something to consider as well. But
Oh, that's great. Before we wrap up here, Sean, is there anything else that you wanted to add that you think that would be beneficial to our followers?
I think just to normalize that, a lot of people are struggling right now, and anxiety, stress, depression, like it's more ubiquitous than we think. And I think it's great that you're all having these conversations, because I think it's starting to build momentum and more people are talking about mental health more openly, and I really like that. And it really takes the edge off when you can open up about things that are hard and that we're all going through it, and it makes it a lot easier.
That's for sure. That's great advice there.
Yeah.
And Sean, if people wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way that they can do that?
I have a website it's called integrationpsychotherapy.com. Maybe I can write that out because it's kind of a long one. That's my website if you want to kind of see more about what I'm about and get in contact with me. So that'd probably be the best way.
Okay, well, that's great, Sean. Thanks so much for taking your time today and to talk about these issues and bring awareness to this to our followers.
Yeah, cool. Thanks so much, Stacy.
Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.